connected, going back and forth. And so what happened that made the publication decide that they wanted to focus on diversity and inclusion? We know that's a big conversation right now in the industry. So
it is a big conversation in the industry, and it is a big part of what is going to drive the industry forward in the future. So MJ Biz Daily, we benefit, like every single business, and especially for-profit business, every single business in this industry benefits significantly from the work being done by the nonprofits.
Right.
We would not have this business opportunity to host this event without all of the work that all of the nonprofits, the advocacy organizations, all of those groups are doing.
Right.
And we feel very strongly, and I feel very strongly as a company founder, that there is an important need to give back to the community that supports you.
Right.
And in our case, our community is not necessarily geographically located, but it is this cannabis space.
Right.
And so we are paying attention to the things that matter in the cannabis community.
Okay.
Diversity, inclusion, social justice, all of those are huge points of challenge in the cannabis space at the moment. As are, of course, the legalization pieces, as are the community and sustainability elements of it too.
Right.
Unless we get those things right, unless we continue talking about those things, this is going to end up just like every other industry.
Right.
And there are so many people here, including white males. There are a huge contingency of the white males here who do feel strongly about making a different thing.
Right. Yeah.
And so the reason we put the diversity and inclusion pillar in our industry give back program is for that reason. It is something that the industry wants to achieve, and we support it as well.
Right.
So win-win.
Right. And in talking about industries, again, going back a little bit to your background, and you were in banking or finance before, Citibank?
I worked at Citi, yes.
So, and how did the transition happen for you from that industry to this one?
So I came out of business school at UT Austin.
Okay.
And
Hook 'em,
absolutely. And went into a management associate program at Citi. I was actually in the cards division, but I was not working as much in the finance as I was in the operations side of the business.
Okay.
And as part of that experience, after being there for about 6 years, completely hit the corporate wall.
Yeah.
Honestly, glass ceiling as well.
Yeah.
Around about that same time, my young business partner, who was somebody I knew from very early on in my career, who was a serial entrepreneur, reached out to me and said, "Hey, I'm getting bored. I've sold my thing. I want to do something else. Do you want to do it with me?"
Right.
And it was the right person, right thing, right time. And what we set out to do was a diversified business-to-business meeting.
Okay.
We had 2 other publications going, up, running, on their own feet. We were looking for another launch. Long story short, we launched into cannabis for all. We found that to be the best of our opportunities that we saw. This was back in 2011.
Right.
We thought, we looked at all the metrics, thought, let's try that. And here we are today.
Yeah, and speaking of metrics, I saw that when you decided to go forward with Marijuana Business Daily, I guess you had maybe about 1,000 subscribers, and then now you're at 36,000 subscribers.
Well, this is 35. We're going to have 35,000 attendees this year. Our subscribers to the newsletter, to the publication, over 50,000.
That's amazing. I mean, the growth in such a short amount of time. What do you attribute to that? Well, we know legalization is a part of it, but what else do you think plays a role in that?
While we are not the only concern, the fact that the industry has been able to rely on MJ Biz Daily and on MJ Biz.com to be that neutral platform, to be that professional place to get together, to be a place where they can bring investors or interested business partners and let them really get a sense of understanding of what this industry could be.
Right.
And then us using all of that deal flow, that networking, that education, that comes, the vendor sourcing that comes out of MJ BizCon. All of that goes out into the cannabis universe over the year.
Right.
Does great things, creating opportunities, creating jobs, creating new businesses, all of those sorts of things. And then it comes back into MJ BizCon the following year.
Yeah.
And so the industry is growing because of the publication and because of the show, and then the show and the publication continue to grow because the industry's growing.
Right.
It's this amazing virtuous cycle that it's that rising tide that lifts all boats.
Yeah, absolutely. And even in thinking about going back to diversity and inclusion, having worked in previously prohibited industries before, so I was in the tobacco industry. I was in the alcohol industry. Even the energy drink. I worked for Red Bull for a really long time. And one of the common things I noticed about all three of those industries is that they always started out thinking about the diversity piece. And I think alcohol has always done a really great job at just micro-targeting their audience to the point where they can create brands specifically, for that,
Yeah.
And so when I think about the cannabis industry, although I'm business to business, my customer are entrepreneurs or potential entrepreneurs. What I'm finding from the folks who've expressed interest in our offerings is that it's a lot of transitional professionals. So attorneys, doctors, pharmacists even, who are thinking about transitioning into the industry. So ancillary businesses is really where we see African American participation. Is that similar to what you see in the mainstream, or do you think it's unique? And one of the reasons that I found that to be the case is the price of entry.
Yeah.
Right. So
there's no question that the cost of capital and investment required to own and operate a plant-touching business is astronomical.
Yeah.
And the traditional paths to getting that capital have been much harder for diversity, for people from diversity.
Right.
It is unfortunate. It is not okay, but it is the case.
It is the case. And when we were in New Orleans for the conference, we met. You always meet phenomenal people. And the thing that has always been so rewarding and inspiring for me is the reception that I receive from everyone when I talk about what we're trying to do. Everyone wants to figure out how they can help, how they can contribute. I think one of the big sponsors in New Orleans and probably here was MedMen. And one of the guys who was working on education was from Galveston, Texas, which is, I'm from Houston. And he really made a great point about making sure that as African-Americans, as minority entrepreneurs, that we are letting the mainstream community or the mainstream industry kind of know what we need. Because we are all coming in at different levels of understanding, of background. Our relationship with marijuana, again, we need to repeat it again, but it's different. There's a cultural, there's almost a apprehension and fear just based on the relationship with the cannabis and the criminal justice system, right? So that's really, really,
and very understandable.
Yeah. And so when looking at traditional like social equity programs, though wonderful start, we realize it's really not going to be enough in and of itself to really impact the level of diversity and inclusion that we would like to see.
So I'm glad you brought that up, because I do see I think that diversity and social justice are absolutely related.
Right.
I think a lot of people conflate the two.
Yeah.
And they are very different.
They are.
To me, diversity is about ensuring that at all levels of your organization, your employee makeup is reflective of your customer base. Right. And the mainstream population that's available.
Right.
The social justice piece of it and social equity piece of it have to do with righting, to the extent that can be done, righting the wrongs of the drug world.
Right. Yeah. And that's wonderful. And then again, having come from other industries who kind of took diversity really close in and really had a commitment to that's amazing. I think though, and on the flip side, I believe that we too, as minorities, have a responsibility also and to do good work. If we are partnering with people, so it really does take two. So I guess my question to you is, as a magazine or as a publication, and you see all of the diversity that's happening now, are you guys on the track? Do you believe that the commitment that you've made to the diversity within your own publication is paying dividends? Like, do you hear from folks? Do you see from folks that these connections are really leading to?
I like to think yes, and I want to say yes, and I will say yes, because you do continue to see minority participants enter the marketplace, engage with NJBiz at this conference, the other conferences in the publication, increasing in terms of the number of sources that are available and speakers that are available for our content teams to tap into. Right. At the same time, we hear loud and clear very frequently that it's not enough. Right. I agree. Right. It's how do you overcome all of that? I feel like we are fighting the fight and doing the best we can. Do I think it's sufficient? And it's going to be a long time before I think any of us feel like it is sufficient and equitable. Right. It is. I think that what we can accomplish in the space and time given to us is continue to push on that goal.
Agreed. And again, it's certainly something that I haven't been inspired by, seeing that, because when you are coming in as a minority in certain industries, there sometimes you hit a brick wall and sometimes you hit an open door. And my experience has been the open door side. So I'm really grateful for that. And that's really all that I had. All the questions I had for you. I was just really happy to meet with you. And
you wanted to ask about what advice would you give to an upstart publication? What advice would you give to an upstart publication?
Yeah, that was kind of like offline, but I was just going to ask you, what advice, like if you can have like one great thing you should really focus on, or one thing that maybe, a mistake or pitfall when you're thinking about putting out a publication like what we're trying to do, what would be the number one focus and maybe one that you should not really think about as a startup?
I would say define your focus and stick to it.
Okay.
It will be easy to get off of it. When we started, we were determined to be a business-to-business resource.
Right.
And especially back in 2011,
right,
when the people, the audience we were serving were 99% of them had come up to the advocacy side and the social justice side of the industry. We got a lot of pushback. You need to be advocating through your publication for Amendment 64 in Colorado. You need to be talking about, the criminal justice system in your publication. We agree that those things are important, but that's not the business element of it.
Right.
And here's how we're going to contribute to those conversations by building this business piece of it and ensuring that people hear those messages as they're building their businesses.
Right, and that's important.
Right, that's very important. But if we had gotten, we're going to go be this advocacy, we're going to go have this advocacy now piece for Amendment 64, or we're going to go talk about, this other social justice piece. At a very frequent pace, or at high frequency, that we would not have been able to do the good job that we were able to do at the business piece.
Right.
Which has created all of this, which has created those opportunities.
So focusing on finding your lane,
find your
and
lane,
stay in your lane.
Commit to it.
And you're right, because even when I start to talk about like,
but you can do this.
You're a nonprofit. Yeah. I'm like, no. Oh, well, you're social justice. I'm like, well, no. So adding B2B into every description that I have when I'm talking about, the publication helps people kind of flag or file their way to the right place. Because I'm inundated right now with nonprofit talk. I'm inundated with, the advocacy, social equity. Oh, let's go to Austin. And I was like, well, that's really not where I'm important, but that's not really where I am. So staying in your, finding your lane and staying in your lane is certainly, and I guess that's also what you should do, what you shouldn't do in one answer, right?
Exactly.
Awesome. So you were supposed to meet today with Mecca King. He totally messed up his flight. Like it was midnight one day and he thought it was the next day. So anyway, he ended up having to leave last night. So I was a stand-in.
No worries.
But I appreciate your time. Oh, I'm sure. If you would see him, he's out of Atlanta, you would know him. But we were partners. We actually had an event last night. And it went really, really well. And lots of great feedback from lots of potential advertisers and sponsors. We had a really good turnout. So thank you so much for your time.
Appreciate it.
Enjoy. Try not to get too loud with everybody.